students. Yeah, am I audible?
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Good morning,
Good,
ma'am.
good morning. Sarthak Burma, what happened? You had your password and ID, na? Why you are joining as
Good
guest today?
morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
गुड गुड मॉर्निंग मैम।
Good
मैम
morning.
ऐप में ओपन नहीं हो रहा था, इसलिए मैंने लिंक के थ्रू ओपन किया।
ओके ओके, नो इश्यू। नहीं, मुझे ये पूछना था कि अगर कोई पासवर्ड वगैरह में दिक्कत हो तो।
नो
ओके,
मैम,
जो
थैंक यू।
yesterday, day before yesterday, I suppose, Udeshya has sent me 2-3 students' name. So I am going to follow up for those 3 students only. अगर अभी भी किसी को कोई दिक्कत है for login into your uh, Microsoft Teams directly, so please let me know by today, okay? So that I can follow up कि जो भी बच्चे का है, because you should get your ID and password by now, right? Otherwise it will be difficult for you to attempt any exam or CS. Okay, so we have been discussing in our last session, last class, that there are different tools, right? Tools to use for explanation of various theories and laws of economics, right? So हमने पहले भी discuss किया है कि economics is kind of a science subject, right? Where we use various mathematical tools, right, statistical tools to discuss or to prove our theories, right? Like any science subject where we can prove if any there is any law of physics or chemistry, so there we can prove it, right? So and to prove it we use some mathematical tools, algebraic expression, similar to any science subject. And in economics also we use certain mathematical and statistical tools to prove the theoretical concept or laws of economics. Like we discussed variables, right? So variables are those factors which keep on changing, right? Whose magnitude keep on changing. Like if we say that demand and price, right? So if price increases, demand decreases, but how much, right? So its magnitude keeps on changing, right? That's why it's very variable. So those factors, right? Some of the factors or some of the variable depend on another. Like demand depends upon the price, right? When price increases, demand decreases. Similarly, supply depend on the price of the product. When price increases, producer want to supply more of that good, right? Similarly, some other variables or factors we discuss, like consumption. Our consumption of a particular good will increase or decrease according to the income, right? When my income will increase, my consumption will increase. But there are other theories वो हम लोग सेकेंड सेमेस्टर में डिस्कस करेंगे, दैट इज अबाउट एमपीसी और मार्जिनल प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम। उसमें क्या बोलते हैं कि when people a person's salary keeps on increasing, its tendency to consume decreases, means the percentage of consumption decreases because rich people save more, right, and poor people spend more. That means if मेरी salary for example 20,000 है, when it increases to 80,000 or 1 lakh, so what I will do, maybe a little bit of my percentage of spending will increase. Maybe मैं 40,000 तक खर्चा करूंगी, rest 60,000 I will save, right? So when your salary keeps on increasing or income keeps on increasing, the percentage of your expenditure of your consumption uh, not decreases, it is not increasing at the same rate as your income increases, but the rate of saving increases, right? So अगर मेरी salary कम है, right, maybe 10,000 है, so all my necessities, all my needs will be spent on my by my income, right? मेरा अगर 10,000 salary है, तो 10,000 salary is not even enough to fulfill my basic requirements. So I will use or I will spend all my salary, right? So ये एक theory है marginal propensity to consume, that is MPC, वो हम second semester में पढ़ेंगे. But still what we are discussing, there are various variables that depend on one another. So some types of variables are exogenous variable and endogenous variable. Exogenous variable क्या है? Those variable that is a product of a particular law or theory, right? जैसे हमने बोला था कि demand, right? Demand का जो हम theory बोल रहे हैं, it is used only in a particular theory, that is law of demand. Or if we are saying that marginal utility or MPC जैसे अभी हमने बोला marginal propensity to consume, right? It is used only in consumption function, right? So that means those variable which is used to express a particular law or theory, right? It is related to only a particular law, right? Otherwise अगर आप normally अगर आप लिख दो कि D is equal to or D, what is D? No. So इकोनॉमिक्स के बाहर या माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स और लॉ ऑफ डिमांड के बाहर डी का कोई वैल्यू नहीं है, राइट? सो दिस डी इज इक्वल टू पी. दिस डी हियर is used to explain our law of demand, that D is equal to factor of P, right? So it is a exogenous variable. Endogenous variable are those variables that doesn't depend upon any theory, right? And used to express anything, right? So like अगर हम बोले D is equal to factor of P, that means P is price, normal price, right? But D here we are talking only about relation with the price, right? So it's here to explain your law of demand. So here P is your endogenous variable. Similarly, we discussed two other types of variables, that is dependent variable and independent variable. When we are discussing the correlation between two variable, right? So दो variable है, variable means their whose magnitude keeps on changing. So if we are taking two variable, right, function equal function depends on income. That means if income increases, consumption increases, right? So that means the value of the consumption is dependent on the income or value of the income. अगर income 100 से 200 होता है, then consumption will also increase from 80 to 100, right? So that means it is dependent on the other factors. So कौन सा independent variable होगा, कौन सा dependent variable होगा? So here consumption is dependent variable and income here is independent variable, right? it change क्यों नहीं हो रहा है PPT? Okay, so we discussed dependent variable and independent variable. Then we also discussed endogenous variable and exogenous variable. Then comes function. So function क्या है? Function describe a functional relationship between one variable with another variable or some more variables, right? Here we discuss D is equal to function of P, or we can also write as dx equal to or D equal to function of price of that product dx, price of other product or other related product, maybe complementary or substitute product, then income of the consumer, then consumer's taste and preference, advertisement. So all these factors are that have some dependency or not dependency बोलिए, some way to change the magnitude of D, right? That is demand. So demand is a function of all these factors, that is price of that product, consumer's income, price of related good, that is price of substitute, complementary good, taste and preference of the customer, then advertisement, right? Other also like trends, right? Fashion में क्या है, या फिर impact from your social impact or peer pressure. So there are various other factors that a demand depends on, right? Demands का इतने सारे functions है. So here we use mathematical tool function, right? So इस तरह से हम f को बाहर लिख के ब्रैकेट के अंदर जितने सारे आपके इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स है उसको एक साथ लिखते हैं, राइट? सो हियर these are factors that leads to the demand of a particular product. Similarly, हमने cost of production की बात करी थी. Here कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, ये मैंने अभी तक चेंज नहीं किया, सॉरी, कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इज इक्वल टू फैक्टर ऑफ कैपिटल, द कैपिटल दैट इज कैपिटल से क्या आएगा, इंटरेस्ट, देन रेंट आएगी आपकी लैंड से, लेबर को आप क्या दोगे, वेजेस, एंड प्रॉफिट आएगी आपकी एंटरप्रेन्योर से, राइट। Then equation, so equation क्या है, so when we use equation, it's a mathematical tools where we express a particular variable, right, with a algebraic expression, right. Equation means it's equal to, so here for example if we write national income is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M, right. So this kind of algebraic expression, so that means we can write normally as GDP or NI or Y, that means national income. It equates to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So जो आपकी डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल है और जो आपकी लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में है एंड राइट हैंड साइड में है, इट इक्वेट्स हाउ यू कैन एक्सप्रेस दैट NI is equal to or national income is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M, right? So it is a result of a particular theory, right, or a law कि national income कैसे हम निकालते हैं. So this is a formula. So equation equates between the left hand side and right hand side, whatever it is written there. So जो वो हम एक symbol से लिखते हैं, that is equal sign से. That means it equates two sides, right? So here, yes.
Ma'am, please add Khushi.
Khushi, okay, sorry.
She's waiting in the lobby.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, I didn't see it. Okay, so here we have given an example that C is equal to A plus BY. So we explained in our last class that if C is the consumption, so it equates to what is consumption? How consumption, right? So consumption can be autonomous consumption and induced consumption. So A here is autonomous consumption plus BY, that is induced consumption. That means B depends upon the income. Y is your income. Okay. Yukta, keep yourself mute. Okay. So that means A plus BY is nothing but consumption. So consumption is equal to A plus BY. Right, when we write any kind of algebraic expression or mathematical expression, right, so we use equal symbol, that is some kind of equation, right. So then identities, so identities is similar to equation, right, but here we use three sign, right, three equal sign hota hai, dash hota hai. So that identities mean it is exactly same, the right hand side and left hand side expression is exactly same. So here we have written profit or pi, यहाँ पे pi हमने एक symbol use किया है, it is identical to, that is exactly same, जो भी आपकी result आएगी TR minus TC, it is nothing but your profit, right? So the left hand side and right hand side is exactly same and can be used in place of one another. Or here we can write that Y is identically same as O, identically same as E. So here if we say Y is your national income, the total income of the nation, O is the national output, total goods and services produced, is equal to total consumption expenditure. So it can be used in place of one another, right? So identically same. Then there are certain tools we use in fact all economic theory, that is assumption, right? So whenever we explain any theory, any law, maybe law of demand, law of supply, law of variable proportion, we will discuss so many laws, so many theories. In explaining every theory we take certain assumption, right? क्योंकि हम बिना कुछ assumption लिए अगर हम explain करेंगे तो आप बोलोगे या मैं बोलूंगी, right? Okay, if you say demand is equal to function of price, अगर आपके friend ने बोला कि खरीद लिए because मैंने खरीदा, it is very good, और मेरी salary बढ़ गई, so how we can measure those factors influence on my demand, right, on my consumption expenditure, right? That means we have to assume before explanation of the law of demand that other thing remaining constant, or maybe the influence of other factors we are not considering, right? That means price of the related good, price of complementary or substitute good, that means then income of the consumer, taste and preference, peer pressure or social pressure, or maybe advertisement. So we have kept the influence of other factors uh, constant, right? So that means, so that why we keep most of the time that other thing remaining constant, we assume most of the time, so that measure relation or maybe consumption. So in such cases, we keep certain assumption. Not only that, we also take other assumption like there is no government intervention. जैसे हमने two sector economic में जब हमने discuss कर रहे थे circular flow, so we have taken assumptions that there is no government intervention, there is no international trade, right? So it is not actually is, but we have taken some assumption. हमने एक सपोजिटली हम सर्टेन सिचुएशन हमने लिया है कि गवर्नमेंट अगर ना हो, इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड अगर ना हो, या हम लॉ ऑफ डिमांड में डिस्कस करेंगे कि अगर कंजम्पशन का इनकम, कंज्यूमर का इनकम का हमने इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं देखा, या फिर एडवर्टाइजमेंट का इम्पैक्ट हम नहीं देखते हैं, तो क्या होगा? दैट मीन्स वी आर टेकिंग सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ assumption, right? So there comes ceteris paribus. So ceteris paribus is nothing but assumption only. So जब हम सिर्फ assumption की बात करते हैं, so assumption क्या है? हमने suppose ये होगा, ये नहीं हो, right? Suppose there is government, suppose there is financial market, right? So you are taking some assumption. ceteris paribus क्या है? Other thing remaining constant. कि हम अगर बात करते हैं कि demand and price, so except price, all the other thing remaining same or remaining constant. So many a time when we will study economic theory, so books में भी आप देखोगे कि many of the times यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है ceteris paribus, right? So it's a Latin word that means other things remaining constant, right? So if we discuss the relation between demand and price, so here हमें बार बार लिखने की जरूरत है, हम इन शॉर्ट लिख सकते हैं ceteris paribus मीन्स प्राइस के अलावा बाकी सारी चीजें कांस्टेंट है, राइट? ओनली देन वी कैन measure the relation between price and demand, right? So ceteris paribus is an assumption. assumption एक particular assumption जहाँ पे हम सारी चीज को, एक फैक्टर को छोड़ के सारी फैक्टर्स को, सारी वेरिएबल्स को हम कांस्टेंट और रिमेनिंग सेम अगर हम एज्यूम करते हैं, राइट? सो दैट्स ceteris paribus. Then comes tables or schedules, right? So जिन्होंने इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ा है पहले, you must be aware of it, but even science student and humanities student. So जब भी हम कोई ग्राफ बनाते हैं, right? Any ग्राफ, अगर हम ग्राफ पेपर में अगर कोई एक ग्राफ बनाते हैं, y एक्सिस, x एक्सिस, और डाउनवर्डिंग अपवर्डिंग स्लोप्स होती है, बार डायग्राम होती है, और एक फैक्टोरियल एक्सप्रेशन होती है, हाउ इट कम्स, उसके लिए हमें टेबल चाहिए, राइट? अगर हम लिख रहे हैं डिमांड, राइट, लेट्स यूज माय व्हाइट बोर्ड, अदरवाइज इसमें आप देख लीजिए. सो अगर हमने यहाँ पे मेजर किया है कि डिमांड इज डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग, राइट, it gives a downward sloping demand curve. How we get it? So for it to prove it कि it's a demand, the demand curve is downward sloping, और तेरा इस तरह से एक downward sloping curve होती है. It may be a straight line or even it may be a curve. Straight कब होगा? जब आपकी difference of the price and difference of the demand is exactly same, right? जो आपका difference है, जैसे हमने यहाँ पे क्या किया है कि price अगर P5 है, the demand for apple, right? So where है आपका 5 है, राइट? सो इफ वी डू लाइक दैट, अगर सब में आपका सेम प्रोपोर्शन में रहे तो हमें एक स्ट्रेट लाइन मिलेगा. अदरवाइज इफ इट्स डिफरेंट, राइट, जो आपकी डिक्रीज इन डिमांड है वो अगर different है हर में, so we will get a curved line. So it's same. So for it, to get a graph or to get a diagram, we need a table, or we also say schedule, right? Demand schedule or supply schedule or a tabular expression. So this tabular expression or tabular representation discuss about when हमने जब बोला ceteris that means other thing remaining constant. So क्या चीज हम मेजर कर रहे हैं? अगर ये आपकी प्राइस है, प्राइस ऑफ ए प्रोडक्ट, और यहाँ पे हम सप्लाई लिख रहे हैं, राइट? और मे बी हम यहाँ पे प्राइस के जगह पे हमने कंजम्पशन लिखा और यहाँ पे हमने इनकम लिखा. वाई एक्सिस में अगर इनकम है और एक्स एक्सिस में अगर आपका कंजम्पशन है, सो हियर ऑल्सो वी कैन शो दैट व्हेन income increases, consumption also increases. So it will give a upward sloping demand curve or upward sloping consumption curve, right? Understood? और मुझे draw करके दिखाना पड़ेगा? Yes. अगर PPT में जो डायग्राम है उससे अगर समझ में आ गया है तो it's fine. Otherwise, I am just showing you. So, अगर हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं डिमांड की, राइट? So, while discussing demand, we have taken certain assumption. Assumption हमने क्या लिया है कि other thing remaining constant, so that we can take the or we can discuss the relationship between demand with respect to the price of that product. If we are discussing the demand for X,